The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co. Hey everyone, we're back. We're back in the house, and excited and delighted. I've been announcing since yesterday that I was looking forward to having Mas here with us, and here he is. Mas, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thanks for making it available to those individuals that couldn't see us online live. So great idea.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I mean, I wanted to do something because it was a big downer. None of us being able to get together, with so many of us wanting to get together, and then obviously not being able to. So for some of you that may not have heard of Mas is a founder. He's a founder of the Exponential Intelligence. He's an energy healing pioneer who shows people how to access their exponential intelligence to optimize their health, happiness, and success. Now, Mas has been involved or spoke at several expos of ours in London. Yes. Quite a few years, and I met Mas for the first time a couple of years ago, and I remember it just blew me because kind of all of a sudden there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people around him.
I remember your face.
And then when he was back at the booth, and there's all these people, and then everyone's standing still because he's got them all tranced out, and he's working on all of them. Yeah. And then even when he left the hall, he left the expo, he's walking outside the street. The man's exhausted. He's been at it for like 16, 18 hours. And he's got like 16 or 20 people all tranced out there. And all of a sudden, even, I swear to God, people walking down the street stopped and they got into they done as well. So, Mas, thank you so much. And I know the great energy work that you do with people and your background. And it was really important for me to have you here, to give us your insights, especially with so much going on now. Right. So yeah, obviously, challenging times, a new reality for everyone, a lot of, scares and issues, what's going to happen next and how to get out of this. What are you doing now? Well, what are you, or how are you helping? What are you advising your clients and all the people that you work with in these times?
Well, it's really a great question, Bernardo. But first, I just want to say that I'm a reprogrammer, so I'm very different, say, than energy healing or anything like that. I literally get into your coding and then just reprogram you, and then you shift. So whether it's like health issues, relationship issues, anything like that. So in a sense, I would call it self-improvement or life improvement made simple, because I just reprogram you and you shift. Obviously, you have to do the work and confirm the changes, but it's really quite simple. So what are we doing now? And it's really interesting that you ask me that, because the people who practiced XI in the past with me, Bernardo, they're so calm. And this is what I want to talk about, success through chaos, is that those individuals are successful individuals in the past. And just to kind of brush up on history for those who don't follow history, the major stock market crashes, wars, diseases, things like that have plagued human consciousness. There's always been a group of successful individuals that have, say, transcended way above, not to only help them, their family, but society. This is where most of the millionaires are made. It's a group of millionaires that get amped up. This is where technological advances come about. Right, technological, advances in any industry come about. So I'm looking into it. I'm going, why? Because with my abilities through 2 near deaths, I can see patterns of success, and then I can help instill that pattern of success into whoever is capable of holding on to that. So I was studying that pattern. So I'm going, wow, this is the time of chaos. We haven't had this in quite a long time. Right? In this technological advanced society, everything is shut down. So everything is like quiet. It's like, well, why did that happen? And how can we use it to best benefit ourselves? So, and as I've studied it, and you've probably noticed too, Bernardo, although there's chaos going on, there's a sense of, say, presence in everybody that you meet. You know what I mean? They're just like there. They're not like preoccupied or anything. They're just like here. So that state of presence is a power force. It's where you get your momentum. And that's where, say, successful people have tapped in. And when you become so present and you have all the success mechanisms through, what you do, Bernardo, and plenty of the other people that would have been at the best too, all those knowledge. I guess the presence is the gunpowder or the explosive that just makes you just skyrocket. And that's what we do. So people are really present, but how to utilize that presence? Because again, presence is the moment of where you can create. You can't create in the past. You can't create in the future, only in the present moment. So with all those people forcing to become present and you're aware of that, it literally is a cannon for you to catapult, and that's what we'll do. And I don't know how much time we have, Bernardo, but I can say dip people into that deeper consciousness within a couple minutes for you.
That would be great, and I was counting on that. Absolutely, yeah. I'm here for some. I'm here for some energy.
Perfect. So, do you want to do that now, and then we can talk about it and then I can just keep working on people. So it'd be
sure. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions for you, but you start doing your thing.
Yeah, and then you can ask me the questions, and then the people can just ride that wave and really get to feel it rather than just understand it conceptually. So let's just take a deep breath in. It'll take about 5 minutes. It won't take me long to get you into those deeper states. Even if you're listening to this as a recording later on. And then a breath in again, just noticing where you are. And become aware of your reality. So whether your eyes are open or closed, just look around you. Look at the lighting, look at the temperature, the touch, look at the sounds around you, smells, the taste, and then most importantly, your spatial reference points, which means that, hey, even if your eyes are closed, where am I sitting compared to the room? Where's the door compared to where I am? Where's the picture or whatever it is compared to where I am? And even that, as I say, generate those frequencies that help you shift. Notice what's happening to you. It's very different than meditation or anything, hypnosis or anything, because it is different. There we go. So do you see that congruency? It's like you become so potent or so present. So if you can continually run off that, and then the presence of other people around you, as we take another deep breath in, and it'll help you connect with, say, the consciousness of what's around us, filtering out the chaos and all the distortions, but the present moment state. There we go. So just start noticing, again, what's overtaking you. It's not me. It's just it's the same thing as if you go into raw nature. Raw nature has a presence that consumes you. You can't get away from it. It's very comforting. So I generate those same frequencies for you, a bit more potent. But that allows you to, say, relax because you're in a safe space. But allows you to, say, be in a safe, secure space to allow that force within, as Yoda would put it, right from Star Wars. Start to utilize that force within. And we'll just go a little deeper since we're getting into that space. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Again, strong, disciplined, like a refreshing new life breath in. And just ask ourselves, well, how do I connect to my pure source even more? How do I become my limitless self? There we go. And then notice that space within you, that deep knowing of grandness, of your potential that exists inside you. How do you get it out? That's what this is about. That's what this talk is about. And then Success Through Chaos, an extended version of this. talk coming up later on for you. So this is, Bernardo, this is what successful individuals use. They start to notice the potential that they have deep inside. They start to notice the chaos on the outside. They start to, say, refine that chaos. So it's not, say, like an explosion, but it's like it's still an explosion, but it's a directional explosion. So it catapults them, say, into a direction. Does that make sense to you?
Mm.
So as we take a deep breath in, coming back into this reality, still hanging on to that grander version of who you are. So pay attention to where that grander version of who you are throughout this talk, and I'll help you run and operate from that. But does that make sense? So successful people in times of chaos, instead of the world, say, exploding all over the place like it does, they go, hey, let's harness this explosion just like a combustion engine and use it as a directional force to get me way above the crowd and into that success atmosphere that I need to be in. So I help people do that.
It is said that we live in a world our questions create. And it's true. Those that have succeeded in life, those that stand out, those that have made a difference, those that are inventing, those that are exploring, pushing the boundaries of reality are based on those that have asked themselves empowering questions. In my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, I help you find your true purpose, find your legacy. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing, speaking at any of our many events, partnering, or licensing The Best You, for more information, go to www.thebestyou.co. Well, that's great, Matt. And as always, every time I speak to you or listen to you or whatever, you always have this, you just make us feel great. And that's why you've got this beautiful following of people that have experienced it before. So Matt, this is kind of obviously, within this massive chaos, that's, this global chaos. And
right.
And obviously, it is a time also of phenomenal creativity, isn't it? It's just a time when there's so many people now thinking of completely new realities. And there's so many, we're talking about billions of people coming together, to create a phenomenal reality, and that energy that is coming together, isn't it?
Yes. So that's what it's all about. That's what, say, my work is really all about, is getting people ready when, say, something like this happens. And it's not just, say, the humans at this reality, it's the consciousness. I mean, you see the planetary system change. You see, it's the spring equinox. So obviously the frequencies at a higher frequency are changing. So just like animals who take advantage of, say, the changes of electromagnetism and all that, the Earth's atmosphere, humans can take advantage of that as well because we're part of that system. So instead of creating or magnifying the distortions that we are, like you said, we're awakening and searching is there a better way? Yes, there is a better way. That better way is already, say, pre-programmed inside you, but over the centuries, we've kind of lost our way. So bringing that back into, say, your original coordinate system. Does that make sense to you? So using your natural innate abilities that you have, or the force within. And people are searching. So, how do you do that? Well, you start looking inwards. Don't start looking for solutions on the outside. Start paying attention to yourself. So when you're, say, in quarantine and you can't go anywhere, okay, take some time to, and it sounds weird, to notice your skin. And I say notice your skin, and it's like, what the hell does that mean? That means that you notice your skin. You notice how your hands interact. You notice the flesh on your body. Because most of us, they're mindful. They have this consciousness of, I'm mindful, but you're just in your thoughts. You're present with your thoughts. Your thoughts can be in another reality or another time frame, or maybe something in the past or in the future. But when you start to notice your skin, like notice the skin on your hands, the webbing between your fingers, and I know it sounds kind of weird, but try it just for a few minutes. And you'll get intrigued with it because it'll pull you into your reality here. And you get to see exactly where you are. But it also, say, enhances that strength within or that power within. And then that's where you really start to, say, perpetuate a new direction. Does that make sense to you? Or no?
Yeah.
It's very simple, but it's very simple, but very strange because it's way the hell out there, but it's really not. it's a step. It's a lot. It's like 10 steps beyond mindfulness. So you get to see the mechanics of how this reality works. So,
and isn't that it is about? I mean, because obviously, you know, everything that's happening, and I was, you know, a lot of us are reading a lot and looking at the last pandemic, for example, and
right.
you know, and obviously where we are now. But but this is exactly the time, and I suppose, you know, the message here is ultimately to kind of slow down and
exactly.
really the consciousness level that we have right now, because, you know, kind of where we were going, it was pretty mad. I mean, you look at what we're doing to the planet and things like that. There's a lot
totally.
So a lot of advantages. Right. You know, it's about looking at the positive and being solution driven, but it is a reality that a lot of us,
a reality.
You know, unfortunately, people are obviously ill, and there's a lot of people that are scared. But you know, this is a good future that could come from this, isn't it?
Oh, total! It's a total future. It's like really awakening. It's time to say, you know, it from my standpoint, because it's literally about time and space for me. That's how I say help people transform the fastest way possible. It is about changing realities in time and space for people. So this reality, literally, if you think about it, is stopped. It's the closest thing that we can get to stopping time, right? And when you stop time, you know, you stop time, say that you get into an accident, like literally time stops for you, if that makes sense to you. Time stops, and then what happens is that you go, wow, what happened here? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? So instead of looking out into news reports and all that, I encourage you to look inside, and again, pay attention to your body, your actions. As you're walking, notice your gait, notice all the things that you do. That you do unconsciously, but that brings you into a present moment. And this is one of the key secrets of, say, geniuses. Geniuses look at, say, normal, common, everyday situations at such a deep level, they get that aha moments like, oh, shit, we can do this very differently. So just think, Bernardo, if everybody like came into themselves and started seeing how they operate in life, they get to see the mistakes that they make. They get to see all the parental patterns that they've adopted unknowingly. They get to see, again, all the patterns that just destroy them, including, you know, addictions and illnesses and all that. And it's like, shit, I don't need that. As a grand being, as a human with full potentiality, I don't need to struggle like this anymore, right? And then it's like they start to pull out and go, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing what my parents did. I'm not doing what society beliefs are anymore. And then you'll see a great, say, migration from, you know, society's norms and patterns that haven't worked out for centuries, like in control systems, you know, pollution, all that stuff, into, say, a higher version. So mark my words, Bernardo, from this point, you'll see a lot of new technologies come on that are, say, friendly, earth friendly, environmentally friendly, a lot more, say, open businesses. And by open, I mean, they're not looking at the bottom line. They're looking at enhancing people's, say, connection with the product or through the product or services. So it's going to be a whole different definition on how people do business and how people create success. It's not just about, say, money anymore. That doesn't provide.
And I love that, and I really, really believe this. I mean, you know, I've always considered myself very creative, but I've, you know, kind of simply spiraled a lot of the stuff that I was thinking. But I can see it globally when you're looking at all these people looking into finding, you know, the vaccine, you know, for this, and you know, you've got so many great minds now working, you know, combining their forces. Right. What's your thoughts? And this is kind of, I don't know, I'm not saying if it is off the charts, because I've read a lot, but I was looking at the whole idea of 5G and the electromagnetics of this is a way of it being transmitted. Because, you know, kind of, you know, well, there's this Professor Stern, I think he was talking in 1917 when the first plague, and they were talking about the electromagnetics then.
Yes.
Imagine now with the supposedly the 5G. What's your thoughts regarding kind of how this is transmitting around the world?
Right. Well, the 5G, and I think that's where. Okay, so with my abilities, pretty much I can tap into, say, any consciousness or knowledge. So 5G, the way that works is that it runs at such a frequency that it sterilizes the air and then the water in the air. So basically, when something becomes sterile, that means nothing can survive in it. So this would equate to you taking massive amounts of antibiotics. So there is no flora or there's no bacteria in you, not good bacteria, not bad bacteria. So when you're in that state, you have a higher propensity to get ill because now anything can come in you. So what's protecting us, say that bacteria that now is just dead, right? An invasive bacteria can come in and destroy you. And even good bacteria, say, can destroy you. Does that make sense to you? Mm. So just extrapolate that into the 5G. 5G is sterilizing the atmosphere, the air here. So basically, the bacteria that was good for us as we breathe in and out is not there anymore. So we have to actually fend for ourselves, which allows, say, bad bacteria or an overgrowth, basically an off balance of bacteria in the air. So as you breathe it, you become less, say, it's less functional. It's less, I want to say, nutritional for us. And by nutritional, you would have to breathe in, say, twice as much to get the same amount of oxygen that is beneficial for you because the water molecules are messed up. So it's not as beneficial. From what I'm seeing, and again, I'm not a medical analyst, but so you breathe in, the oxygen is what helps you, say, transfer, right? The water in the oxygen, that water is messed up somehow, so you're not breathing in completely. You're not absorbing as much oxygen. So it's almost like you're suffocating. And that's where bacteria, that's where viruses, a simple virus like this takes over. So that's what's wrong with 5G. So
To find out about my latest projects, get a free coaching lesson or download my book, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
So, Mas, what's different in your world now? Okay, because again, we're talking about, obviously, we all have our own priorities, families, loved ones, sticking together and things like that. But what's new? What's new in your reality? And obviously, with either clients or coaches or people that you work with, what is different, or what are you doing differently, if anything?
Oh, totally. So my abilities are just ramped up as of late. A lot of people that I've worked with say they've, their abilities have ramped up as well. So a lot more people are coming to me, more business-minded individuals are coming to me to go, you know what, I've made a lot of success. So there's a couple different ones. I've made a lot of success, but I'm not really happy. So it's like, can you help me out? Or, there's been very successful families that come to me. It's like, yeah, we're we have the success, we have everything, but we can't enjoy it because, my kid's addicted, we have bad relationships, all that. It's like, I want that complete sphere of, say, abundance. So that's really different. So people are migrating to go, you know what? Money is not the only thing here. There's more. I just want to live completely. I just want to be. So a lot more people are migrating to, say, what I do. And it's really fast as far as the transformations. The other thing too is that you don't have to, people are finding out through this work that you don't have to work your ass off to, say, become successful. So for example, in like research and development, for example, people just work and work and work and work. Even trying to find a new vaccine, for example, are there better ways where we can just tap in, right, and like shorten R&D time, for example, in this company from 6 years maybe to about 3 months, and that's a real life scenario, by the way, where I've done that with several companies. So more and more companies are going, wow, there's a new way of looking at things. I want a high level solution. I want to call it a high performance consciousness solution where, so say with a company that's a network company like Verizon or whoever that's spreading 5G, is there another frequency that, say, is beneficial to the earth, that is beneficial to the atmosphere, the bees and everything else that makes it grow, to humans? There is. So how do we get that? How do we get from the knowledge or the technology that we're using, instead of going the wrong path? It's like, is there another solution that we can still have, high speed internet, all that, but from a very functional standpoint where we don't, say, destroy the people that we're serving? Does that make sense? In this case, 5G. Right? There's a whole different frequency that we can use that's more functional, and it resonates I can help people find that space, or scientists find that space. People always go, like you were talking about, people finding vaccines. It's like, well, Bernardo, my thought is like, and that's what I'm really excited about, and that's what this consciousness is like. This consciousness is always about fixing things. Things get broken. Well, we need to find a vaccine. I was at this seminar, and they were telling me about all these technologies, nanobots that go into your bloodstream and then kill the cancers. They're tiny like robots that go into your bloodstream and kill the cells and so on. And I stood up and going, well, hey, how about if we raise human consciousness to the concept where we don't have to have disease? We're good where we are, where we can say push or test the human potentiality. That's what I'm about, and that's what my company is about, is like, hey, let's get over this fixing shit, and then, sorry, no offense, let's get over this fixing stuff. Let's not go, this needs to be fixed. It's like, no, we're solid, we're good where we are. How can we, go beyond that? Kind of like becoming somebody that's out of shape and sick and ill. Now you're a primed, seasoned athlete. It's like, how far can we push the boundaries as human potential? So that's what my company is about. So.
And that's something that I wanted to ask you about, because I'm precisely thinking, kind of like, I get that, when you're trying to create a vaccine, there's a lot of steps and processes. And also, I think obviously all the governments are aware of creating or coming up with something that's quicker. But that's what I believe, that we are capable, consciously now. I mean, the level of intelligence, technology that we have, I mean, isn't this something that we should be able, or technically will be able, to sort out? And not only for this, but as you've been pointing out, for the future, isn't this something that we should be able to sort out quicker, and that
totally.
can have, longer term benefits? I find it difficult to believe that that's not possible.
It is. It's totally possible. And then furthermore, it's like, why do we have to have something that destroys the economy? I mean, you can see how civilized a society is by the rules that they create. And then also, say, something like this comes in and totally destroys an economy or society. So it's not so advanced, and we're not, like our control. We're not in control of our lives. Something else is. And like I said before, something is controlling us, whatever it might be, or our consciousness or our destructive patterns. And we're always trying to fix. If you look at the government systems, or even the way business works, we're always behind the 8 ball, and we're always trying to resolve something. We're never ahead of the game. So what I'm saying is like, hey, let's fix it. Let's run the pattern that we keep, say, in time, because it literally is, you're in time, you're not behind time. You're in time, and you can see what's happening in the future, so you can prepare for it and ascend higher and create products, services, humanity, consciousness. As far as Bernardo, as far as technology goes, if you look at the line, like if you had a graph, and I wish I had something to draw on, but human consciousness or awakening, it's kind of like level. It's been level, just a straight line since Neanderthal man. We haven't, say, risen higher. Our intelligence level, say, has risen higher, but not that much. But then technology, if you graphed it, it's just like, since the 50s, 60s, 70s, it just went like this. It was a slow rise, and then all of a sudden it just peaked up. That makes sense? So technology is up here. Human consciousness still is down here. So that gap, that disparity, that's why things like this happen. That's why, suicide patterns happen. That's why, the increase in suicide, the increase in divorces, the increase in illnesses, the increases of I don't know, all these diseases that are showing up, is because that disparity of knowing that we should be up at a higher consciousness, but we've messed ourselves, or we missed the boat, so to speak. So it's about, how do we bring that consciousness to ride along with society's technological advances? That's where we should be.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I'm again, I've said this a few times, I'm excited about where this could go. Is it going to be easy? No, I don't think it's going to be easy for a lot of families and a lot of people that, are at home struggling and concerned and everything else. And I'm disputing that. I'm just saying is that out of all this, there's a lot of people coming together, probably for the first time.
Totally.
And countries coming together. and us really having and appreciating a lot of what we have in comparison to kind of like, just 4 weeks ago, jumping on a plane or being able to do things.
Yeah. So true. It was so convenient, and then it's like, whoa. But I'm just kind of sensing there's a calmness in the air. And people are like really awakening back to their natural self. They're starting to see their families because they're spending more time with their families. They're not seeing, say, the trash or the filters that you see each other through. They're starting to see their real selves, outside of the distortions, the abuse patterns, all those things. They're actually starting to see their identical or their grander version of each other. And as they do that, they get to, say, walk away from all that stuff and unite. So I think there's going to be a great unification happening for this. And then also, as far as control sources, whether it's government control sources or anybody else, they're not going to have the power over, say, the masses anymore, because more and more people are awakening to their own, say, control and starting to realize that, hey, we have to step up our own game and take, control of our own life and do the right things that we need. We can't have government, say, control us. We can't have, say, the school system teach our kids or anything. We have to take that responsibility and do it for our own selves to benefit this reality, this humanity, and then also our kids. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mas, what else would you like to leave us with? We've got a couple of more minutes. What would you like to leave us with?
Well, we are doing a lot of free meta healings, just like we did, the 5-minute deeper meta healings on specific ones. One, especially for those who, are, say, ill with the coronavirus. 2, the workers, the health workers, and these are free, by the way, the health workers that are in the trenches with those. So help keeping them, say, safe at a spiritual, conscious, mental level. 2, we've got a seminar coming up. It's a seminar on meta healing. Thanks, Sweetie. It's coming up on the 25th. It's called the Human Dis-ease and the Purity Wave. And we're going to go deeper on, say, why civilization has come to the level that it has, what we can do about it, what we can wake up, how we can wake up from it, and then, say, start a new path, because this is a great opportunity. If something is broken the way it is, we don't want to replace it, right, with the old pattern. Let's find a new path to it. So we've got that coming in. We've got Human Reset 2020. By the way, Bernardo, again, if something's broken, Human Reset 2020 is that you meditate with me, and it's a full reprogramming of who you are. So this is about resetting your personal life, relationships, resetting your, physical identity. People lose a ton of weight. They get healthy. It's amazing how, say, transformational that they become. And then also, say, success patterns. So it's a whole new life within 21 days. And I know it sounds really extreme, but if you go on the website, there's tons of testimonials on how people have changed their lives so fast. So, and then hopefully we're going to do a deeper version on success through chaos, where we go through, say, for the business-minded people, personal development, where we go through step by step, and then we create a program for business-minded individuals, not only for them as a business, but then individually as well.
Well, Mas, thank you so much. And I appreciate you. This is what we're doing. We're really sharing as many ideas as possible and contributing towards, kind of helping and supporting people. We created this hashtag, which is, a food bank for the soul, where technically we're throwing ideas and letting people help themselves to what we're doing. And Mas, listen, thank you so much. I'll be in touch with you anyway. I want us to do something. We're going to promote and push a lot in the Best You Online. So I'll catch up with you and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my friend. Take care.
Peace. So great. Thank you, Mas. Take care.
You bet. Bye.
And everyone, thank you so much. I'm going to be back literally in a few minutes. I'm just going to disconnect and come back. And I've got Elena Simancas joining me. And we're literally going to be going through Elena. Then we've got Christine Blosdale. She's going to be joining me literally 15, 20 minutes afterwards. And then we've got Kimberly Meredith and then Vicky Schettini. So thank you so much. I'm delighted so many of you showed up for Mas. Please watch this afterwards if you haven't. He left us some great pearls there and, food for thought. So I'll speak to you soon. See you soon. Back in 2 minutes. Thank you so much.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.